Hello, I'm Orkan Amashov. The world at large remains divided over Kosovo's unilateral declaration of independence from Serbia, which was announced back in 2008. The relations between Belgrade and Pristina leave a lot to be desired. Although Serbia itself does not recognize Kosovo as a sovereign state, officially viewing the territory in question as its autonomous province of Kosovo and Metohija, the two enjoyed some degree of normal ties, particularly since 2020, amidst sporadic flare-ups. Serbia and the administration in Pristina have been involved in an EU-facilitated dialogue for more than a decade, since the Brussels Agreement signed in 2013. But the talks have recently stalled, with the tensions in Kosovo's restive Serb majority north rising. After an explosion late Friday damaged a key aqueduct in North Kosovo that sends water to the region's two main power plants, Pristina labeled the blast a terrorist attack carried out by professionals working in gangs directed by the Serbian government, a charge that Belgrade quickly called baseless, condemning the blast as action that threatens fragile stability we are striving to maintain in this region, they said. 8 people were arrested on suspicion of planning and organizing this alleged assault. At this precise moment in time, Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić is holding a press conference. I will come back to this subject later throughout the day. Joining me now is Dr. Ayhan Sarı, Associate Professor at Turkish-German University, Istanbul. Professor, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Professor, what have you made of this latest blast that took place Friday in North Kosovo? And why do you think that Kosovo leader Albin Kurtin was so quick in his condemnation of the Serbian government?
Because we see that this explosion is the third one in the last 3 days. So we can say that there is an organized terrorist attack which is at the moment. And furthermore, we see also that there are lots of arsenal weapons that were confiscated after this third explosion. And these two indication incident show us that there could be an organized terrorist attack to Kosovo, because it doesn't look like as a lone wolf attack. So I think the issue that there is 3 terrorist attack in 3 days shows that there is a well-organized terrorist attack to Kosovo.
And so you think that the Kosovo authorities were right in immediately placing this blame on Serbia. But what is also very interesting in that in the past couple of months, the NATO peacekeeping mission, which has operated as Kosovo's de facto army since 1999, has steadily increased its presence in anticipation of possible escalations. And this gave rise to some argument on the Serbian side that this could have been a premeditated incident in order to give Pristina administration an opportunity to exert influence on that part of Kosovo where the Serbs actually constitute majority. Or what do you make of this argument?
Mister, I said it looks like a terrorist attack, but I didn't say that it could be a terrorist attack organized by the Serbian government. I have 2 understanding of it. The first one be the Serbian government who is behind of this terrorist attack. But after I saw that there are of arsenal weapons confiscated right after the explosion, and uniforms and the bandage of the Serbian soldiers, I thought we should be very careful about this issue, and it could be planned as to show Serbian government as the responsible power behind this attack. So we should be very careful and look on the other incidents, and it could be also the NATO responsibility, Western powers responsibility, who want to have another conflict in the region between Kosovo and Serbia.
I see. You believe that it could be third-party involvement. I see. And also, if to go back to what the administration in Pristina said, I think that a Minister of Internal Affairs of that administration said that this is the single most serious attack on Kosovo's critical infrastructure since the end of the conflict. Are we actually observing now the beginning of a new phase of the conflict in the region? Because it looks like the most consequential development that took place in Kosovo since over the past 10, 15 years.
Yes, the issue is we see that in the region and also in the whole world, there is a huge power gap. We see that the decline of the United States, and moreover, we see that the new election of Trump administration, it could be the case that the United States go back to United States and isolate itself, and we see that there is a huge power gap after the of United States, and it could be the case that there are regional powers who want to benefit from this power gap and expand their own political interest. This is the one scenario, but there is another scenario. We see in most of the conflicts, civil wars or wars between two nations, we see that there are most of the time a third power who are benefiting from this conflict and who are fomenting conflict to increase their own political power. And my personal view is that it seems more like that a third power is in the current situation, trying to foment the conflict in the Eastern Europe and expand their own political power. That's why we should be very careful about the current issues. We can also see, especially the Western powers, want to continue and foment the current conflicts in Ukraine and Russia, between Ukraine and Russia, and also Israel, between Israel and Palestine. And we see, if we consider the willingness of the Western powers to foment further conflicts in the different regions of the world, it could be another case, another attempt of the Western powers who want to start another conflict in a different place.
I see. And to what extent the tense relationship between Albin Kurti, the leader of the Kosovo administration, and Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić could be regarded as a main reason for fueling tensions at this juncture? You talked about the third-party involvement scenario. That is very clear. But what's about the relationship between the head of state of Serbia, Aleksandar Vučić, and Albin Kurti? Because they both are very charismatic figures, and some experts are suggesting that their personal animosity is also part and parcel of the current tension. What would be your take on this claim and proposition?
It is very natural that political leaders have issues between them, some disagreements, and sometimes very harsh words to each. This is the nature of the politics, but it doesn't mean that they will fight because they don't like each other. So strong leaders always try to solve problems with conflict, because conflict means most of the time losing the resources, many of the money, and also making their own country poorer. So most of the time they try to avoid the conflicts. So I don't think that the disagreement between these two charismatic leaders would naturally follow up as a conflict. As I said before, the reason, the indication that right after the explosion, we see that many weapon arsenals are confiscated with Serbian flag uniforms. It looks for me more like as a party involvement, and as I said before, the disagreement between political leaders is the nature of the politics.
Thank you very much, Professor Sarı. And my last question to you is going to be about the position that is maintained by European Union. What would be the approach of the brand new EU High Representative for Foreign Policy, Kaja Kallas? Some observers believe that Kallas will take a more direct role in the Kosovo situation due to her perceived strong anti-Russian convictions, which could actually lead to a more confrontational approach towards Serbia. What is to come from the European Union, you think?
I think in such conflicts in Israel and Palestine, in Ukraine and right now in Kosovo and Serbia, I think United European Union have not much to say. They are in huge political will, and they always look up to United States. They follow the steps of the United States. That's why my take on this is we should on the new Trump's administration how they are going to handle this issue, and most probably European Union follow the steps of the United States, because we saw in many crises that European Union were used to take any strong position to solve the problem and played a leading role for peace talks and so on. Why their political weakness seems for me that they are not able to be a positive part of this conflict.
Professor Sarı, I'm so grateful to you for your time. Thank you very much indeed.
Very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you. This was Dr. Ayhan Sarı, Associate Professor at Turkish German University, Istanbul. See you very soon indeed.